The Samsung Galaxy M30 has a gorgeous AMOLED screen and looks just awesome from the front. The front camera resides in a U-shaped notch, which is inconsequently smaller than the V-shaped notch on the Galaxy M20 and M10. The Galaxy M30 has the same Exynos 7904 chipset that we see on Samsung Galaxy M20 and Galaxy A30. Samsung Galaxy M30 have 3 camera sensor at rear. This extra camera unit is a depth sensor that makes the live focus mode so much better. The other 2 rear cameras remain same, a 13 megapixel sensor with 1.9 aperture lens and a 5 megapixel wide-angle shooter with 2.2 aperture. The selfie camera, however, has a higher resolution 16 megapixel sensor. The battery backup on the Galaxy M30 is excellent. The phone can easily last for a day of heavy uses. It supports fast charging and Samsung also bundles a fast charger in the box. If you are not much into high-end gaming, would value display quality over the camera performance and are restricted by a budget, the Galaxy M30 won't disappoint. The Redmi Note 7S looks exactly the same as the Redmi Note 7 as well as the Redmi Note 7 Pro. Like its siblings, the Redmi Note 7S has a glass sandwich design with Corning Gorilla Glass 5 at front and back. The display itself sports a full HD Plus resolution and has a maximum brightness of 450 nits, which is good enough when using the phone outdoors. The display has good viewing angles and color reproduction. There are different display modes to choose from and you can also adjust the color temperature to suit your liking. The Redmi Note 7S is powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon 660. Xiaomi offers the Redmi Note 7S in 2 variants, one with 3GB of RAM and 32GB of storage and another with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. One major difference compared to the Redmi Note 7 is that you get a different camera setup. The Redmi Note 7S has a 48 megapixel Samsung GM1 primary sensor with a 1.8 aperture and a 1.6 micron pixel size. The second camera is a 5 megapixel depth sensor which should come handy when shooting portraits. At the front, the Redmi Note 7 has a 13 megapixel sensor with a 2.0 aperture. If you don't mind spending a little more money, the Redmi Note 7S is a very good choice with amazing camera performance. The Realme 5 smartphone was launched in August 2019. The phone comes with a 6.5-inch LCD touchscreen display with an aspect ratio of 20:9. It is powered by an octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 665 processor. It comes with 4GB of RAM. As far as the cameras are concerned, the Realme 5 on the rear packs quad camera setup consisting of a 12 megapixel main shooter and 8 megapixel ultra-wide lens. There is also a 2 megapixel dedicated macro camera along with another 2 megapixel depth sensor. There is a 13 megapixel camera on the front for selfies. This device is based on ColorOS 6 on top of Android 9.0 Pie and packs 128GB of inbuilt storage that can be expanded via microSD card up to 256GB. It is powered by a 5000 mAh battery with 10W fast battery charging support. It was launched in crystal purple and crystal blue colors. The Honor 10 Lite is the latest in a recent wave of mid-range smartphones that look like flagships. It also has a premium look and feel, despite featuring a plastic back and sides. Honor has decided against a QHD screen and added a LCD screen. It's long with a 19.5:9 aspect ratio and it's also very light on bezels, with what Honor claims to be an almost 90% screen to bezel ratio. There are also 4GB and 6GB RAM versions available. With 3400 mAh, the Honor 10 Lite's battery seems sufficient enough. The Honor 10 Lite has a dual camera setup on its rear with a 13 megapixel 1.8 aperture camera which really struggles to offer much in the way of detail or dynamic range. It has 24 megapixel selfie camera on the front. The Honor 10 Lite also has a couple of different photography modes that you can manually switch between depending on the situation. Unfortunately, these remain constrained by the same hardware limitations as the main camera. In addition, video is shot at up to full HD resolution and like selfies looks respectable until the lights go down. The Honor 10 Lite is an ideal teenager's smartphone. It won't break the bank, it has a respectable camera and it looks sweet.